Hello and welcome.
What the fuck was that?
What's wrong with your voice? Yeah, I told you my voice was fucked.
I know, but what the fuck was that? You were like, hello and welcome.
Should we start that again? Hello and welcome to the Naughty Dog Agenda, previously known as Bad Bitch Podcast.
Yeah, sadly, we couldn't use that name for the simple fact that nobody would know what the fuck we were talking about, so,
Well, if you think of it though, it does make a lot of sense. It's just Naughty Dog dumbed down, the female version, and...
Because feminist rules all!
And that too. So welcome. Basically, what this podcast is about is Naughty Dog. Every Naughty Dog fans, you come and we love each other and we love Naughty Dog and we all have a big group hug and talk about Naughty Dog and the awesomeness about them. A little side project we're doing, other than 60-minute long theory videos that we just got done editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that nearly killed me, and we're doing this directly as this video is rendering, so we don't stop with the work here. So yeah, Nick. What's this podcast about? I know I just explained it, but what's it about to you?
I think it's about just really covering everything that Naughty Dog does, that has done, and will be doing in the future and in the past. And I believe it's something that we should stay constant with and try to keep people updated with whenever something new happens.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna like fucking lie about this, but this is we're gonna try our hardest to make this a weekly thing. And then if any news breaks, we'll just come up with an emergency episode or something. And that's about it. Yeah, so we'll keep you up to date. Go on.
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if we're going to be able to make this a weekly thing. Not because we can't do it, but for the simple fact that Naughty Dog is really hush-hush about things.
Yeah, that too. But that's why we have topics for each show. So, like, today our topic is our history with Naughty Dog. Our personal history, how they impacted our lives. That's today. And then we're going to go through news that we haven't covered before. And then when that's all covered next week, we're going to have another topic if there's no news about Uncharted 4 or Last of Us 2 or whatever the fuck they're making.
I think we should keep in mind what we should think that we're going to, like, give them like a heads up of what we're going to be covering next, just to give the people something to look forward to, you know?
Yep. Well, you take that.
Yeah, so just think about it when we're doing this. So, anyways, would you like to start off, Keith?
Yeah, sure. Alright, so Naughty Dog. Known today as, I think, pretty much by everyone that knows gaming as one of, if not the best developers in gaming. People have just recently jumped on this bandwagon saying this. I've known it since I played Jack 2. And that's not where I'm going to start. I don't know why I said that at the start, but I just wanted to kind of an intro to that. My journey when I not gone getting really fucking very. I can't think of big words today. Shit, I tried to say a big word to explain that.
Meaningful. So dumb.
Meaningful. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, so my journey started with Crash, the original Crash Bandicoot on the PS1. I played the living shit out of that game in my mother's bedroom every day, because no, the PS1 was in my mother's bedroom, and that's where I used to play the games. I was really young. I was like, I don't know, about 5. Probably a bit younger. And I used to play the shit out of Crash Trilogy, actually, because the Crash Trilogy was out when I was playing games. And yeah, I skipped from 1 to 3 to 2, jumped back. I just played the shit out of Crash Bandicoot, and I loved it. I loved the shit out of it. So yeah, that was like for my first 5 years as a gamer. Right from the bat, Naughty Dog were fucking in my face, and I loved them already. Then they moved on to Jack and Daxter series, and the thing to Jack and Daxter series is I started the Jack and Daxter series at Jak 2, and it was a complete accident. It was firstly, I didn't know it was any way to say make it to Crash Bandicoot. I didn't find that out later because again I was quite young. But Jak 2 came out, and sorry, I'm going to take a drink here. Nick, sing or something while I take this drink. Thank you for that.
Time's up, bitch. Get back to talking.
So yeah, Jak 2 came out, and my grandfather, funny enough, got it free with a phone he just purchased. And this is 2004, mind you. No, 2004. This is 2003, mind you. So these phones are big brick phones. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. But it was actually a flip phone. Yeah, 2004-3, it was a flip phone. So yeah, he got that free with a phone, and he gave it to me because he knew I had a PS2. I just got a PS2 for Christmas, and I had no games on it. Other than the demo discs. And yeah, I saw Jak 2. I didn't know it was called Jak 2 because I didn't know how to read Roman numerals. I just thought it was called Jak, and everyone's going, "Oh, Jak 2." I was like, "Where the fuck is the 2?" But anyway, I popped it into my PS2. Fucking opening cutscene blew my mind, and I just fell in love with the game. I didn't fall in love with it straight away because I found the map hard to follow. I don't know, it's different to every other map in games. If you play the Jak 2 map, it turns with you. So it's not like a constant map like you see in GTA or any other sandbox games, like where it just stays like in one place. The Jak map moves with you, and that really confuses me. That still confuses me to this day, but it's really confused me back then. And yeah, I really got stuck in the game because I didn't know to follow the map for a while. But once I learned to follow the map, I fell in love with the game. So I was in Extravision, which is a game/movie shop here in Ireland, and I was just looking through the games, and I saw this game called Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, and I picked it up, and I was like, ooh, that must be the first one, because everyone's calling Jak 2, so this must be the one that was before the 2, because 2 is a number bigger than 1, and there's no number on this. So I begged my mother to get it, and she got it for me, so thank you, Mammy. And yeah, I didn't get to play that at home because I had to go to my auntie's house. But it turns out my auntie's son, or my cousin, I could have just said, had a PS2, so I played it on his PS2, and the room smelled like smoke. I don't know. Why do I remember so well? And yeah, that's whenever I think of Jak 1, I just remember sitting in that smoky smelling room, playing Jak 1, and falling in. I just loved the game, everything about it, the soundtrack, everything about it, and it was so different to Jak 1. And it was like such a... I just can't explain how much I loved that game and Jak 2. So yeah, and when Jak 3, by the time Jak 3 came out, I was a year older, I was a bit more smarter, and yeah, I knew it was coming out, so I begged and begged and begged and begged to get it, and I didn't get it. But then it went cheap, and my mother came home one day, and she had a GameStop bag. I was like, "What's in that?" And she opened it, and it was Jak 3, and I screamed, and probably made a show of myself or something. And yeah, I ran up, played the shit out of it, and yeah, played the hell about it, enjoyed the fucking living shit out of it. Now we flash forward a few years. I'm going to skip Jak X for a while, I'll get back to it in a minute. I'm going to flash forward a few years and talk to you about Uncharted. So I got a PS3 in 2000 and I didn't get it on launch. I got it in 2008. Yeah, 2008, I think it's safe to say. It was still really fucking... It was still like €400 at the time. But yeah, I got it. And the game I got with it was Killzone 2 and Legends of WrestleMania. Killzone 2 was okay. Legends of WrestleMania wasn't really. It's a really bad wrestling game. But yeah, once I was done with Killzone, I'm not a big shooter fan, so I was done with Killzone. I was like, yeah, that's a decent game, but I want something else to play. So I bought Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction. I was like, yeah. And then I heard, I was wondering, I was like, oh, Ratchet and Clank's here. Why is there no Jack here? So I went on the internet in an internet cafe because I didn't have an actual internet connection at this time, and yeah, I read up on him and. He's like, Uncharted! I looked up Naughty Dog and Uncharted popped up. I was like, what the fuck is this? And it's called Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I was like, oh my god, I need to get this. It's made by the same makers as Jack and Daxter. So I went into GameStop and luckily they had it. And they had it for very cheap. They had it for €15. And I was like, oh yay. I went up and bought it. And the lad goes, at the checkout goes, oh, great choice. Uncharted 2 looks amazing. I was like, Uncharted 2? He goes, yeah, it's coming out next year. It's like, so yeah, I went home, played that, loved that. I really enjoyed the first Uncharted. Just a mixture of a load of game genres mixed together and like made better by Naughty Dog. And yeah, Uncharted 2 came out, and that is where I fell in love with. That's where I fell in love with Uncharted. Oh my god, that game just blew my mind. Everything about it. Maybe if you go back and play it now, it's not that good because so many games have copied it since, all the set pieces and all. But that game at that time, it was just the best game out at that. Definitely the best game of the year and the best game out on PS3 at the time and the Xbox 360 of that generation. Then Uncharted 3 came out. I was a bit disappointed with it at first. Then I replayed it. I was like, why would this fuck was I disappointed? This game's amazing. I skipped Jack X, didn't I? So I said I skipped Jack X for a reason. Jack X I never got on launch. I saw it and I knew it existed, but I never really was pushed to get it. It's like, oh, it's a racing Jack game. I'll just wait for Jack 5 to come out or Jack 4 to come out. But I saw it in Tesco one day. Tesco's and why am I dropping all these names to these shops? Am I promoting them? But I saw it at Tesco one day for €5. This is about 2000. I think I had Uncharted at this point, so it would have been 2009ish, before Uncharted 2 came out. And I was like, holy shit! So yeah, I bought it. I still had the PS2, of course. Never gave up my PS2. And yeah, I brought it home, played it, and I fucking loved that game as well. So for every single Naughty Dog game I played, I never played a bad one. And when I was playing Jack 3, when I was 8 years old, 9 years, 10 years old, I don't know how old I was, but when I was playing that game when I was that age, compared to every other game I played, I was like, holy shit, these people made Crash Bandicoot and they made this game, and all those games are better than any other games I've ever played. And I was like, these are the best developers ever. So yeah, that's a nice little story. I went on way too long there, but yeah.
You forgot about The Last of Us, but...
Oh, fuck! Yeah, The Last of Us. What's there to say about The Last of Us? Hasn't been said already. Fucking fantastic game that drove the industry forward. It drove the fucking zombie genre forward than any fucking movie has. So, fuck you, movies. Let video games fucking take over from you cunts. And yeah, I hate the movie industry, by the way. I love movies, but I hate the movie industry. So, yeah.
That was very moving.
Sure.
Gave me a lot of time to think up my own story, I guess, which is probably going to be equally long. So
good.
Anyways, I guess I'll continue. I'll start mine. So I started a very good long while before I really even started. My story is funny because I'm about a few months younger than Keith here, but my story actually starts in and Keith, you don't know this, so you'll actually have a real general fucking reaction to this.
I look
my story started in 1999.
So you were 3.
I was fucking 3. Yes. 3. Yes. Emphasize the on that.
3.
So, anyways, I was at my dad's house because, you know, mommy daddy issues. They were separated. So I was at my dad's house and I was sitting there, and my dad was playing a PS, a PlayStation 1. You know that old dinosaur system that doesn't have any analog. PSX, PS1. Yeah, the granddaddy, the great granddaddy of the PS4.
It's a lovely metaphor.
I saw him playing, and I seen this fucking orange thing. This fucking spinning orange crazy fucking apple collecting maniac that was mute with a fucking Indian mask on his face with this Hunamaga music playing in the background. So my dad was like, "Come here." He was like, "Come here." And I was like, "Okay." And like I played it and I kept dying. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was running and I was falling into a hole. That was my whole thing. Running and falling into a hole for literally 2 hours. And my dad was like, "Oh, you're too late. Too soon," with my jumps and shit. And I didn't know you could double jump or anything. And for that,
sorry, I stopped interrupting.
It's all right. But I was playing it, and I just, for those 2 hours that I was sitting there, falling into a hole, dying, I was like, oh my god, this game is incredible. The graphics, everything, it was fucking fantastic. And so that's kind of my first thing about Crash that I kind of that I first seen was Crash. And through the years I started playing it, I started enjoying it more. I played it on the PS2, which my favorite Crash game would be The Wrath of Cortex. I think that was what it was called.
They didn't make that one.
They didn't?
They didn't make The Wrath of Cortex. They made Cortex Strikes. The Wrath of Cortex is Crash 3. Crash... What the fuck is that PS2 one called? The names are so similar. From Crash 3 and Crash Bandicoot. No, The Wrath of Cortex is the PS2 one. That was not made by Naughty Dog. Crash 3... What the fuck was Crash 3's subtitle? Anyway, no, The Wrath of Cortex is the PS2 one. I believe.
Well, either way, I'm still gonna say, you know, like, Naughty Dog made Crash, you know, and, I mean, granted it wasn't made by Naughty Dog, but that was the game that really was like, yeah, this is what Crash is about, you know, going through these fucking vortexes and shit, and fucking getting the crystal and shit, you know, and the noises and the sounds, and it was all good, but in the end of the day, even though I started with Crash and all that shit, it wasn't my cup of tea. You know, it was a great game, but I craved more from Naughty Dog. And I didn't even know what the fuck Naughty Dog was at the time. I just remember seeing the logo, and I was like, haha, that's a cool logo. And funny story is, I had a nightmare one time about the Naughty Dog logo getting plastered all over my sister's room, and it was scary as fuck. And I was like, oh my god, Naughty Dog's coming to kill everyone. And I mean... the point is just that logo just stuck in my mind forever. And it was great, and
it was great. Aside from it was killing my sister.
Yes, you know. But anyways, and then came Jak 2. I mean, not Jak 2, just the Jak series in general. I first had a GameCube before I had a PS2, so I was getting really into Mario and that type of stuff, because, you know, it was great. It was very similar to Crash, you know. You had lives, you know, there was levels and shit, you know. It was very similar. It was Super Mario Sunshine that I first started playing. Great fucking game. It was very platform style, too. It was in that sort of style of gameplay. It was really fun. First game that I ever played that actually had parkouring in it that was actually decent. You know, sometimes I think that the parkouring in fucking... Super Mario Sunshine almost is better than Assassin's Creed. It's that good. Anyways, so I got a PS2, and I got 2 games with my PS2. I got Ratchet and Clank,
hell yeah.
The first one.
Hell fucking yeah.
And Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. I got both those games, and literally the first thing I did was like, "Ooh, Ratchet and Clank looks interesting," and I seen Jak and Daxter. I was like, "This looks fucking terrible. I'm not playing that." So I go and put Ratchet and Clank in, and that first fucking red planet fucking thing with those fucking nasty looking frogs that look like they have STDs or something started attacking me and shit. And I'm trying to find something for my ship, and I had to go to the asteroid where Clank landed because he just got spit out of a factory and shit. And it was just amazing. That whole entire scene was fucking fantastic. And then after getting bored with Ratchet and Clank, I put Jak and Daxter in, right? And I'm sitting here watching the cutscene, and I was like, is this a movie or something? Because the cutscene was so damn long, and I was like waiting to play, and I was just sitting there like, oh my god. And then Samos the Sage comes onto the screen, and when he came onto the screen, he scared the fucking shit out of me when he turned around and was like, "What ingredient do you two want?" I was like, ah. And I loved every aspect of Jak and Daxter. The beginning, the fucking Geyser Rock mission, to fucking going and doing all that other shit, to just trying to turn Daxter back into a normal human being. Because when I was early on playing the game, I hated having Daxter on my shoulder. I was like, this would be so annoying in real life to have something on my shoulder for years. So... And then Jak 2 came out, and I was like, I seen it, and I was like, oh, that looks really good. I wasn't a big fan of Jak and Daxter at the time, so I was just like, oh, that looks good. So when it finally came out, and when my mom showed me the game, and it said Jak 2 on it, I literally screamed. Like, I fucking screamed. I was just like, ah! I literally turned into a fucking tribal caveman for a second who just discovered fire. It was that great. So... I go and put it in, and it starts the fucking scene where the fucking futuristic shit's happening and everything, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell's happening? And then like the Jak 2 logo came on, and it just slams you in the face, and then you see Daxter running around in his like newly enhanced graphics and shit. I was like, oh my god! And then finally the cutscene starts talking, and Jak starts speaking, and it fucking freaked me out. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna kill somebody, you know. And I was just like, Jesus. And then he transformed into Dark Jak, and I was like, oh my god, he's a goth. You know, it was weird. It just fucking hit me all at once. And then as soon as he said, where the hell am I was like, oh my god, he's swearing. He's going to get in trouble. You know, I was just like, Jesus Christ. He just turned into like Grand Theft Auto fucking... Just twisted everything. And then later on, Jak 3 came out, and I didn't have as much of a reaction at first. I put the game in, and I started playing it, and for the life of me, with Jak 3, I could not get past the first fucking mission. Not the thing where you collect the fucking, you know, the light things, but the gladiator mission. Those gladiators were tough as fuck if you're not used to it. And I kept dying and shit, and literally when I first started playing the game, I was like, I hate this fucking game. I was like, I can't fucking stand this game. But when I finally beat it and beat that mission and started exploring the world and shit, and all the different new mechanics and stuff, I was like, oh my god, this is like the best game yet. And everything. And then came 2004, which was a very strange year for me, because it was both Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter were my two favorites game series of all time back then. And what happened was 2004, 2005, it was 2005. Yeah. 2005, right? Yeah. 2005 was a really weird year for me because they branched out. They weren't like the same genre anymore. You know what I mean? They changed it. You know, like obviously in the racing in Jak and Daxter was so good that they decided to make a fucking racing game out of it. And the arenas that were portrayed in the Ratchet 2 and Ratchet 3 were so good that they decided to practically base a whole entire game around both of them. And I was like, okay, so Jak X Combat Racing. I started putting it in, and I noticed that there was no point where you stopped racing. It kind of turned me off at a moment, and the game was really fucking hard because I wasn't used to racing games. I fucking hated racing games, and I still kind of do. So, I mean, you know, I took it with a grain of salt. I wanted to see the story, you know, which was fantastic. Never finished the game, though, sadly. But when I did play it, I really enjoyed it. And then Ratchet Deadlocked is when I almost became a Ratchet and Clank fan more than a Jak and Daxter fan, because Ratchet was still based on fighting and, you know, the same kind of style of running around and blasting shit. The only thing that pissed me off about the game was that Clank wasn't on your back and I couldn't fucking fly around in my little helipad thing. So, you know, that kind of pissed me off. But other than that, both the games were fantastic. And then came the long struggle. The long, endearing struggle. I was looking for Jak 4 left and right, trying to wait for it to come out and stuff. And then, what the fuck's it called?
Daxter?
Daxter, yes, Daxter, Saving Grace. You know, came out. I played that game, fell in love with that damn game. Oh my god, did I love that game. And I played the shit out of it on my PSP.
Ready at Dawn did an absolutely excellent job with that game. They really outdone
they did. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Nick, you wouldn't even fucking notice that Naughty Dog didn't make that game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't really care about who made the game during this time, you know, and eventually I started looking on YouTube any chance I got, like after school and shit, like YouTube videos and shit to see like what's going on in the Jak universe. Where's Jak 4? And I came upon these beta footages of this really shitty looking Jak game, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, and I was like, okay, I can kind of see how this would be pretty good, you know, but then I realized it was called The Lost Frontier, and I saw the gameplay and everything else about it and learned more about it, and it just went to me.
What's this game you're talking about? I don't think I've ever heard of it.
No, I've never heard of it either. Anyways, moving on. So then Size Matters with Ratchet and Clank and what's that other one? Secret Agent Clank came out. I didn't even really bother with them that much. And then Uncharted came out. And when I was looking at Jak and Daxter and Uncharted, both of them, from the get-go, I was like, oh my god. Every time I seen the Naughty Dog logo for something new, and it was right before the first Uncharted came out, I was like, oh, it's Jak 4! I was like, yes! You know? Because I seen the Naughty Dog logo, and then that music came on, that doo-doo-doo-doo-doo shit and everything, and I was just like, ugh. And then all of a sudden I see Uncharted, I was like, fuck! You know? So I just, immediately, I was pissed off that Uncharted was coming out. I was like, what's this realism bullshit? You know, I was like, why? And then I finally, when I got a PS3 and I was playing Ratchet and Clank, and I was like, where's Jak 4? I managed to play Uncharted the very year it came out. So I started playing it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good, actually. I was playing it and shit, and I enjoyed it, but I never finished it. I got really bored with it, and I was like, I don't really want to play this anymore. And I went back to Jak 3. So, and then after that, I started doing my research and stuff, and I got really involved in Jak and Daxter and all that shit, and games and stuff. I took a break from the whole Naughty Dog scene, and I went into Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed and stuff, and that's kind of rekindled my desire to play video games, and I just started with Assassin's Creed and been hooked on that. And then afterwards, I kept going with the Jak and Daxter thing, and I was like, okay, I want to see Jak 4. I want to try to help make this something that's possible. So I started coming up with my own stories that you will eventually see or may have watched before this.
That video is rendered right now. So it's rendered now. I need to encode it. I'll do it after the podcast, after recording. After done recording this.
Good. So the video that's rendering right now is my theory on Jak 4 and prequels and all that good shit. But anyways,
please fucking watch it. We put so much fucking effort out.
Oh, yes.
Oh my Jesus Christ.
You won't believe.
Editing this video nearly killed me, by the way.
Oh yes, and just me talking it twice, pretty much, because I had to tell Keith it before we fucking recorded it, of course. So I had to talk the whole thing, and I fucking swear to God, I needed a drink so bad afterwards. Anyways, so I started getting involved with the Jak thing, and the more I looked into it, the more evidence I found that Uncharted pretty much replaced Jak and Daxter, you know, and it made me feel heartbroken. I was just like, wow. I was like, they gave it up, you know. Jak is done. His goose is cooked. I'm never going to see my favorite yellow-haired fucking crazy dude and his little fucking orange witty sidekick fucking kick ass ever again. But I just had that hope in my heart that it would come back one day. But anyways, so I started loathing it more, and then I seen an exact lookalike of Drake just with a fucking goatee and a little kid in The Last of Us on the PS3, and I was like, oh great, here we go again. There goes my Jack hopes again. And I started watching the gameplay between the two, and then the next year they came out with a remaster for The Last of Us, and that pissed me off even more, just because, you know, money or whatever. But I can't really judge the game because I haven't played it yet. But anyways, and then I got a PS4, and that changed everything. I got the Uncharted collection with my PS4. So I had all three, so I didn't have to spend any money on buying them. And they were all enhanced and everything. So I played the first Uncharted, and I was like, I remember playing this game. This is a good game. And I was like, I'm going to beat it this time. And so I'm playing it thinking nothing of the ordinary, you know, just like, oh, it's a shooting game. And then these fucking zombie things come out at the end of the fucking game, blow my fucking mind away. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm shooting these things. I'm scared shitless, and just playing the fucking game. And then I go into Uncharted 2, which literally turned me into a pregnant woman PMSing, because I went from liking it to hating it to liking it to hating it to the very end being amazing with Lazarevich, like, you cannot stop destiny, and fucking shooting this fucking fluorescent blue sap shit, and it was amazing. And then I fell in love with Uncharted right then, and all was forgiven about Jack being lost because Uncharted was so fucking amazing that it blew my mind. And then I played Uncharted 3, and then I just kept playing it, and it kept better and better and better, and it was amazing because I got it for free, and it was amazing. The spiders and the kid part and Sully's story, and it was just, yeah! I loved it to the very end, and the graphics were spectacular, and I cannot wait to play The Last of Us, because I heard that game is fucking incredible as well. And
so just to recap, Nick, I'm a bit unclear. Do you like Uncharted?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I love Uncharted now. Now I'm actually, it was pretty much like a love-hate relationship the whole time, and now I've just seen the light, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, Uncharted's great. So, I mean, and plus, another reason that helped me like Uncharted is that Nathan Drake, voice actor Nolan North, also played Desmond Miles in Assassin's Creed, so I already had a taste of his wittiness, you know, because Desmond Miles and Nathan Drake are both fucking badasses in their own right, and they have that same feel to them, you know, that same vibe, you know? So I was like, yeah, Nathan Drake is amazing. He sounds just like Desmond Miles, and I loved his character, and I get more of it. So, you know, and he's an amazing voice actor. He does the German guy in fucking Call of Duty, for fuck's sake.
You ever play Deadpool?
I mean, Deadpool? No, I haven't, but I know he does the voice of him too. So anyways, so I just started with they
like Uncharted too.
Yeah, you can tell. So I just started liking that, and now that I'm really hyped for The Last of Us, and more importantly, finally Naughty Dog has decided to come out with a fourth fucking game for once. Uncharted 4, baby's coming out in fucking April, right?
Yep,
like 20
April.
Something.
Nice segue. Let's talk about Uncharted 4. I know, Nick.
Yeah, why not?
I know you haven't seen much of it. You've seen one trailer, is it? The E3 trailer from last year?
Yeah.
Or is it Gamescom trailer? I think it's it's the E3 trailer. Yeah, this game, I'm trying to stay as spoiler free as I can, but I've seen every trailer, so that's kind of hypocritical. I'm so happy that Naughty Dog have decided to actually end a series with an end. And they have said that this is the end, and I'm so happy that they're saying this. And that means that they know it's the end, they're going in, knowing that it's the end, so they're going to end it properly. So yeah, I'm so hyped for it. The last trailer I've seen is it's the last favourite on my channel, so if you want to go and have a look at it. It's a 30-second TV spot, and it fucking brought me to tears nearly. It's just like, it just reminded me of all the fucking times that we've had with Drake, and all the fucking all the fun fucking memories I have of them games, and I just saw that, and I was like, it brought a tear to my eye literally, and it's just, I am just so hyped for this game. And no matter how good or how bad it is, if it's not as good as Uncharted 3, if it's not as good as Uncharted 2, if it's not as good as Uncharted 1, I don't care. As long as they end the story properly, I'm happy. As long as it's the game that just bookmarks the series, and we're happy with the ending, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think we should end the podcast with a little bit of Naughty Dog information, like who created Naughty Dog,
I'm sure like the hardcore fans will know all this, but if you want to do that, you can. I'm sure only hardcore Naughty Dog fans will listen to us, if anyone's listening to us at all.
Right.
So,
well, if anything, if you are a hardcore Naughty Dog fan or not, you'd know that Naughty Dog has been around for almost 30 years now, and that Naughty Dog was co-created. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Keith, you'll let me know. Naughty Dog was created by Jason Rubin and Andy Gavin, right?
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, correct.
Right.
It was a pop quiz.
I don't. And they came out with a few games early on before Crashes, like Way of the Warrior and Math Jams. I don't know what the first one was
Keith
called,
the
but yeah, Keith. Really?
Yep. It wasn't the first one. Keith the Thief is one of them. I don't know what. I think the first one was something to do with dreams. I don't know, but they made like about a few games in the early days. Just Andy when they were Jam Software before they changed their name to Naughty Dog.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what their first one chronologically was. I'm a bit rusty on that, but yeah, Matt Jam, Keith the Thief, Way the Warrior, which is the Mortal Kombat clone that everyone that's now infamous.
Yep.
And I forget what there's something to do with dreams. I forget what it was called. If please shout at me in the comments. I'm really tired. Cut me some slack. Yeah. So continue where you were at, Nick.
Well, I mean that kind of sums it up. I mean, I haven't really done a lot of my research into Naughty Dog as of late. I just know that just me being a fan of it. I just know that I really enjoy Naughty Dog games now, and I mean, I'm still not a big fan of Crash, just for the simple fact that Jak and Daxter Uncharted kind of like shuffled me away from that specific angle, and I could kind of see why a lot of fans don't want another Jak and Daxter because they love Uncharted. You know, I mean. They don't want to see those types of games going away. You know, and I mean, it's like, it seems to be difficult for people to understand that their cartoony side and the realistic side could coexist. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know there's like only like 10 maximum people left at Naughty Dog that worked on Jak. So they are like a completely different company now than they were.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it could happen. Never say never, but it's very close to never. From Naughty Dog, at least.
It could always get closer to never, but it can never be never.
I mean, now the fact that they tried it is what worries me, because they tried it like, oh, we failed at this, we can't do it, I'm sorry. And I think that's just going to be their excuse over and over again from here on out. Well, not excuse, but reason. It's a valid reason.
Well, if you think about it, Naughty Dog wants to end their games. You know what I mean? They want to bring it to...
I mean, that's what I like about them. They're not Ubisoft that fucking shit out Assassin's Creed game every fucking year and just don't know when to end it. Wait. They do know how to... They have written the ending. It's the problem is they don't know how the fuck to tell it. But yeah, Naughty Dog end games, which I respect. But a lot of fans don't.
They haven't ended anything yet.
Well, well, technically not. Well, they are about to end Crash. Crash
ended a long time ago, my friend.
I'm so tired. They are about to end Uncharted, thankfully. I mean, I love Uncharted, but thank you, they know to end something. 4 games is a perfect amount. Last of Us, I mean, they've been vocal about saying they don't want to do another Last of Us, and I personally don't want another Last of Us. I would love that to just be a one-off game, but
I haven't even played it. I haven't even played The Last of Us, and I don't want another one, strictly because I want them to hit... I mean, I love Naughty Dog, but I want them to hit a really severe writer's block. I want them to hit a writer's block that forces them to try to go back to Jak 4. You know, I want them to have no other options just so that they can just try Jak 4 when they're not thinking about when the next Uncharted game needs to come out, when they need to make an update for it, or any of that bullshit. And what blows my mind about about Uncharted? I may be wrong about this, but I have not seen a single DLC for Uncharted.
Only for the multiplayer in Uncharted 2 and 3 there was a bit of DLC, but that's it. No story DLC, no nothing.
That is amazing. That's just another reason why Naughty Dog is probably considered for me one of the higher up ones, because they don't fuck you with microtransactions and bonus DLCs of just random B-side stuff that they just picked out of the trash can.
Well, not for the single players at least. I don't know what the DLCs were like for the multiplayer. I suppose just the same as every other multiplayer game, but yeah. Should we wrap it up here? It's 40 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
So, thanks for watching or listening.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be much to watch. I'm not going to edit every fucking word of this video like I did the last one. It's a podcast, as we've said a million times. So, yeah, I'm really tired and I want to end this. So, thanks for watching. Nick, do you have anything to say?
Only thing that I really have to say is just really, I'm not going to say like and subscribe because I kind of see where Keith is coming from that. But if you would please just share it, send it out there.
If you know Naughty Dog fan, just say, hey, look, there's these idiots here that talk about shit about Naughty Dog, and they might give you a laugh or two.
I mean, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. We're here to just, kind of spread the word, revitalize some old stuff and keep Naughty Dog news, out there,
Speaking of news, is there any? Listen, it's been a long, hard day. Is Naughty Dog have? No, I'm not even gonna. You know what? Let's just end this thing.
Let's just end it.
Next week we'll do the news.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for watching again or listening again. Nick, end this before I fall asleep.
All right. Well, this has been the first successful episode of the Naughty Dog Agenda. Stay tuned next week, and we will bring you some more news about Uncharted 4, anything related to Jack or The Last of Us. We'll keep you updated on that, and until next time, you all have a very nice week, and take care of yourselves.
Bad bitch!